So, another episode of the Why Not podcast. And I think this is one where we can really dig into the psychology of what it's like being told that you're coming here. And especially if you're here for the first time ever, we have Airman Troll right here. So, but we'll introduce everybody. We'll start with you. And where did you come from?
I came from tech school at Shepherd in Texas.
Yeah. And you're Airman. What's your name?
Kindle Troll.
Kendall Troll. Just get you a little closer to the microphone there. But let's. Who are you, sir?
Sergeant Eric Kotler from 69th BGS. I've been in Minot 11 years, going on 11 years. Originally, I'm from Chicago.
Chicago. Right on.
Go Bears.
And you, sir?
I'm Master Sergeant Houston Cole, currently over in the 5th MXS Squadron. Been in over 17 and a half now. This is my third base. So
Third base. Okay.
Yep.
So you spent a good deal of time at each base throughout your time.
yes.
Okay. Well, this is your first base. And how long ago did you get here?
I got here on the 22nd, so this is my second week here.
Okay, that is really fresh. What did you know, if anything, about Minot as a base?
That it was really cold. That's it.
That's the only thing you know. Well, that's good because it's only really cold some of the time. Half the time. Most of the time. And then this is your first installation, I'm guessing.
It's my only base. Yep.
Your only base.
11 years.
11 years. And then you, sir, what was your first base?
My first base was Lake and Heath over in the
Oh.
UK.
It could be worse.
It was a pretty good base.
Yeah, right on. So we've got two people who this is all you've ever known of the operational Air Force, which I know is kind of like funny to say for someone so early, but Minot has a bunch of stuff, that baggage that comes along with it. But I've said this on the podcast many a time. My first duty station was Cannon Air Force Base. And that has the stigma is well deserved. So since you've been at Minot, what are the things that you heard about Minot, and had those people actually even been to Minot before?
So I've heard a lot of things like it's where careers, go to die. But I came here as a 3 level. I made mastery here. So it's not where careers go to die. I think it's gonna sound cliche, but it is what you make it. A lot of people I see online complaining about Minot have never been to Minot, and almost everybody that I know that have PCS out of Minot actually want to either come back or they talk about how much they miss it here. And I think it's because you have a lot of people that are, spend a long time here, and we're able to develop a bond that you can't really develop in other bases, because you go to a different base, you're gonna be out in 2-3 years PCS somewhere else. Whereas here, you don't know when you're gonna leave, so you're just gonna make the best of the situation, make as many friends as you can, and try and make as much of an impact as you can to the people around you.
Right on. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing that we hope that everyone learns when they come to Minot. I know you heard that it was cold, but what are the things that you heard about, and then what did you actually learn once you got here?
Well, in tech school, whenever I told anybody I was going to Minot, they kind of just felt sorry for me.
Yeah, I got a lot of buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That there wasn't really a lot to do here unless you like the outdoors. So
Do you like the outdoors?
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
good for you. Then this is, I mean, maybe it's not perfect, but it's good. What about you, Sergeant Cole?
I was actually very fortunate. At the time, I was at Little Rock Air Force Base. I was there for 10 years. When I got the orders here, I was actually in California when I was notified TDY. Getting ready to fly with our air crew at the time when they told me, hey, you're going to Minot. I thought he was pulling a joke on me. When I landed, I called him back, and he was like, hey, no, for real, though, you're going to Minot. Yeah, like it's on the list. It's going to happen. I was like, oh, okay. So at first, I wasn't excited at first. You always hear the rumors about Minot not being a good place. Leadership's bad, culture's bad, and a bunch of other things, right? It's cold. But, going throughout my career, you always focus on things that are within your control. Weather's not in your control, but you can adapt, right? So, something that I tried to focus on, I got very fortunate. A hydro guy came from Minot and came into my unit. So, I actually got to pick his brain about it because he was actually here. And he was like, "You're going to get used to driving. Driving is going to be one thing you're going to get very familiar with, very comfortable driving hours to go places.
Yeah.
If you don't have an issue with that, you'll like it up there. The
Well,
weather,
that's Midwest.
yep. The summers are beautiful. It is really mild compared to a lot, southern heat that I was used to. He's like, the winters can be brutal too, but you can put on layers. You can always add layers. So it's not a big issue. And then, of course, getting his perspective on leadership and culture. He's like, you're going to find people up there more than often than not will love to either stay there or come back because they build such a unique bond with the other people that have gone through similar hardships up here that they're almost forever friends.
Yeah.
Or forever colleagues. And a lot of them tend to reach back out and be like, I'm coming back, I'm V-spabbing. So from my experience so far, my coworkers, more than half of them are either second timers up here or lifelongers. So
yeah, there's something special about it here. My wife is also active duty, and she talks about, wow, I could imagine retiring here. I don't, but we both have our own careers, and so we'll figure out where we finally do settle on. But I, a comparison is the thief of joy. But in my case, like, I compare it to what it was like when I first got to Cannon, and I felt much better coming into Minot than I did whenever I arrived in Cannon. I just felt like, oh, there's nothing out here in Cannon. But I didn't feel that way when I got here. I felt like there were a bunch of people who were very welcoming and wanted to make sure that they love the military out here, because they sure do. And one of the things I'm wondering about is, because you've been here for 11 years. In that time, you've seen a lot of airmen come and go. What is the thing that makes an airman successful, having this as like maybe their first and only duty station versus becoming an unsuccessful airman and maybe not having such a great time here?
It's a tough question. Like it seems very, very straightforward, but that's tough. I will say a lot of it has to do with attitude. I think that's what it is. Reflecting back on what I did wrong when I was new, is I had a bad attitude. I came from a city used to having everything within walking distance.
Yeah.
The city I was in is always in the news, sports, whatever you want. There's always talking about Chicago, and I go here, this place. I don't know anything about this place. I was 21 when I got here. I wanted to go out and do exactly what every 21-year-old wanted to do. There's not that many bars up here, not much, uh, nightlife, and I think I went about it the wrong way. What saved me was the community, more specifically my shop, the people that worked with, my coworkers. They understood that there is a rough transition from being fresh out of tech school and still having that old mindset you had as a civilian, thinking it was all about you, and you come in here and change your attitude and make it all about the people around you and the team around you, because that's how I was taken care of, is the people thought about everybody around them, and they saw me struggling to adapt, and I changed my attitude, and now I do the same thing for every new person here. I expect them to not like it at first. I expect them to go through that growing pains, because not everybody's used to living in a small town of only 45, 50,000 people, middle of nowhere, hours away from a major city. So I think when you have that in mind and understand that it's going to take some time for them to develop this attitude, to get used to this area, to develop that grit and tenacity to work in -40, -50 degree weather, at least for flyline people. I know security forces, I know even, everybody goes outside, whether it's walking the car. I know they see you guys taking pictures out in the cold too, so it's tough. Everybody has to experience it, but you need that certain grit and tenacity. You can only develop that if you have a strong culture in your shop. Everybody's taking care of each other, and put your egos off to the side, because it's not a one-man operation. So I think airmen, when they come in here, they have to develop that mindset, the attitude that you're not doing this for yourself, you're doing it for the people to the left and to the right of you. And if everybody can work together, I think you can have a lot of success. But as soon as we start focusing on ourselves and what do I personally want? You know, as a young airman, it's like, what do I want? That's when, you know, that selfishness is really going to hold you back, and that's what held me back. And I had to learn to overcome that, and I wouldn't have made it where I'm at if it wasn't for the people I worked with, the leadership I had throughout all these years. I had multiple different NCOICs, multiple different shift leads, supervisors, countless, but they never gave up on me. And, you know, likewise, I'm not going to give up on brand new airmen coming in here. Even airmen that have been here 2-3 years are still struggling. I'm not going to give up on them because nobody gave up on me. So I think that's, you know, I kind of went off on a tangent a little bit, but I think that's, to
I'm
answer your questions, attitude.
yeah.
It's
I mean,
attitude.
you almost said it all, Coach. That was the most important things that make an airman at any duty station successful is making sure that you are open minded to saying, you know, I don't have control over this. I can only control what I feel for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to have a good attitude about it. And then developing a community. That having a community can make or break your assignment. Like I was at Yokota before this, and I had a great team, and I had a great time. But other people might be at Yokota, and that's the worst possible scenario for them. They're like, oh man, I hated it. No one could speak English when I was there. It was my least favorite duty station of all that I've been to. I'd be much happier at Little Rock.
Yeah.
It's a good.
I haven't met too many people who have said like Cannon or Holloman was their top thing, but for some people that they, you know, it's a different strokes for different blokes.
Yeah, I will say, we had a barbecue in my shop back in 2016. We started a little work chat, kind of planning a barbecue, which turned into, you know, kind of like a shift chat, and it's still active to this day. There's like 10 of us that are in this chat, and we still talk to each other in that, and that's almost 10 years ago. So a lot of those guys have separated, retired, PCS. We still keep in touch with each other, and that's simply because of the culture we have here. It's home for us, for a lot of us, even though, you know, a lot of those guys only spent 4 years here. Some of them spent 10. So I know one of them ended up spending 21, 22 years here.
Wow.
So
Can you see yourself spending the rest of your career here at Minot, or?
Probably not. I would like another base. I mean, that's the goal. But at the end of the day, if it ends up being Minot, I have no complaints. It's really been a good opportunity for me. I'm not sure if I would have made Master if I didn't come to Minot personally. It was a really good transition. I feel like it was something I needed for my personal growth.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know at the time, but you know, now looking back, reflective and thinking about it, it was definitely something I needed. It came with its own sets of challenges, and like you said, a culture of connection is really vital up here. Yeah. And that connection starts in many different ways, right? Sometimes it's an open invitation to 200 people. Hey, we have this event going on. Y'all can come out, right? And you're just like, I'm going to show up. And then you go out and you find that one person that kind of resonates with you, and now you have a friend. And then that spins into other things. They invite you to other things. You invite them to other things. Yeah. And you slowly grow that circle, right? Or that circle of trust. And having that connection over time is what's really going to get people grounded here and be resilient through those times when it feels like it's isolated and struggling, and during the winter months, the dark hours, right? Shift workers, right? Shift workers tend to take a little bit harder up here. But at the end of the day, that connection is what makes them thrive. So
now you're so new here. I know that, you know, building the network out, you're probably just in the initial stages of doing that. But I noticed the ring. Are you married? Did you bring your friend along with you, your network, your support system?
No, this is just my relationship for right now.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, I think, you know, on the subject of having your support system, the people who back you up. Yeah, friends are great, but sometimes it's your family. Sometimes it can even be people from a long distance. You still have that group chat. So, how do you get people on? Not everyone's on board with Minot, especially spouses. So, how can you get people on board and make their life a little bit more manageable?
I married my wife. She's from Bismarck, so that was easy. Your family's 2 hours away. You know, you don't have to travel far to see them. So
I will say I struggled a lot harder with that. My wife and I were in a more unique situation. So she worked out of Bismarck here. I met her in Arkansas. We got married, moved up here, but her job is in Bismarck, so we lived separately for the first 3 years here,
Yeah.
and that was pretty tough. More so for her because she drives all over the state of North Dakota and South Dakota, and she's a one deep kind of position, so she's always going by
wow.
herself everywhere. So
Yeah.
she struggled to make connections because she was always coming up here to Minot, going across the state to Minneapolis and a bunch of other places. So she struggled a lot. Trying to get her to go do things was kind of hard
Yeah.
because she was just like, I don't want to make a connection when I'm not going to have time to go do it, right? So she finally bit the bullet and kind of managed to work out something with her boss and got him to convince to let her work out of Minot. So now we live together.
Good.
And the very first thing I did was I just took her out with a buddy of mine that's married, and
Yeah.
bam, best friends with her wife instantaneously. They had similar hobbies, cooking sourdough and things like that.
Yeah.
And they hit it off. And now I can't get her to stop making too many plans on the weekends. So
Like, I would also like to spend time with my wife.
yeah. So it's been good for her though. I'm really excited and happy for her now that she's got that connection. And that was what she was lacking, and her stress level literally probably has dropped by like 60%. Like it is insane, like how much it helped just having one good friend that she can call, talk to all hours of the day and night. Sometimes they're up at 2 in the morning texting each other. I was like, please go back to bed. I'm tired. But it's been really great. That connection's super key. And now that she's doing that, she's starting to get her circle of friends a little bit more now, going out to, other events downtown and cross base on occasion. So
Yeah.
it's been helping a lot.
Airman Troll, what did your friends think when you were gonna go to North Dakota? Like, what were their responses?
Well, 2 of them came here with me from tech school, so I'm not.
Nice. Good.
But the others, they were not excited for me. They just think I'm gonna be cold. Like, I won't have any social life up here. None of that, pretty much.
It's always what you make it. When I was a canon, the thing that I focused on most of anything, it was my fitness. I said, you know what? I can get in really good shape. And I did. I was running all the time, and I didn't have any friends, but gee, was my 6.5 minute mile really fast. It was great. However, uh, eventually that wears on you, right? So you got to do something. I did community theater, and I worked as like a stagehand, mixing the lights and doing all that sort of stuff. So that's not something that I necessarily thought I was going to do with my time, but then an opportunity came up, and I was like, oh, you know what? I might as well. What are other things that you guys have seen that airmen get involved in that could be a good option for them versus sticking to themselves?
I mean, this is a pretty common one. A lot of them play video games together, and they hop in the same Discord.
Yeah.
And I try and get them out to go out and do things in real life, but I mean, I guess this day and age, everybody likes their Discord. So I mean, that's one thing. You can hang out with each other through Discord. Big thing that I'm pushing in my squadron is motorcycle riding. Sure, everybody's training squared away, obviously, and all that.
Yeah, of
Bikes in
course.
good condition. I mean, that's kind of why I want them to go ride with somebody that's experienced. I can look at their tires, lights, make sure everything's squared away, and then we go for a ride around here. And most of North Dakota's flat, but there's some nice spots. So kind of get them to go out, explore, and see that it's not all that bad. A lot of them play sports, hit the gym pretty hard. I know we got a lot of people that compete. Actually, we have it's a senior NCO, it's not airman, but she competed at a international level, won gold. Master Sergeant Dana McNeil, shout out to her. She got a gold medal. I don't know what her bracket was, but she got a gold medal at an international event, like pretty like the world powerlifting something. So we got same thing. A lot of people like lift weights and all that stuff. I got my master's degree up here, so you got time for school. You can take care of that, and they're gonna work with your schedule too. They want you to go to school. They want you to better yourself. I know it seems like, if you had a pretty rough first week, it seems like everything's crazy out there right now, but people will take care of you. Airmen do like to go out and do things. We just had Magic on over the weekend. A bunch of my airmen were talking about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
A lot of Magic players. Warhammer 40K is pretty big up here too. But if you like outdoor stuff, there's a lot of guys that go dark hunting, deer hunting, shooting as well, like the Minot Pistol and Rifle Club in town. You can
Mm-hmm.
go over there, and membership's like $100 the whole year, and it's open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you can go out there and shoot. They got targets all the way out to over 700 yards. So depending on what type of shooting you like to do, competitive shooting as well on weekends. So I mean, there's surprisingly a lot to do out here. You just have to accept the fact that you're in North Dakota and get over that hurdle, and then have an open mind and just try new stuff. I wasn't big into guns when I got here. Now it's a good hobby of mine. Same thing with motorcycle riding. I never thought I'd have a motorcycle. I'm on my third bike now.
Wow.
So
3 bikes deep.
three, yeah,
Mhm.
Right on.
yeah. Well, I only have one right now. One I sold, the other one, yeah, I got stolen, and I'm on my third one. But I didn't think I'd be riding motorcycles, covered in tattoos or any of that stuff. But I had an open mind,
Yeah.
and like I said, it is what you make it. So if you want to come up here and try new stuff, I mean, this is the perfect place for it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sergeant Cole, you've been to a few different bases. What's your take on, like, people say, oh, this base, like, this base sucks, like, I hate it. And you've been at a few different ones. Um, what's like your go-to message to let them know it's like it's gonna be okay and it's gonna get better?
That is a very good question. For me, the biggest thing I would say in that regard, always change is constant.
Hmm.
Any base that is supposedly bad, it's going to change. Leadership changes every year, 2 years, depending on what your leadership looks like. The people around you get orders left and right. I mean, just in the 4 years I've been here, probably 70% of the people I know have gone. So, change is constant. So just know that that's going to happen, and be open minded to opportunities that come your way for simple things, even to advanced things. If something comes your way, don't be afraid to chase it either. Be open minded about it. And if you can stay open minded, it's going to provide so many more opportunities for you down the road, because people will be like, oh, this person, they don't just shut me down right away. It You tend to avoid those kinds of people. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, no, we can't do this. I can't, or you don't want me to, right? Like, don't get told you can't do something unless there's something showing you like there's a reason why you can't, like a regulation, or hey, this could hurt you, right? Different things like that. So the biggest thing is change constant. Keep an open mind, and you're going to leave here someday. It's going to happen unless,
Yeah.
you are that lifer and you get out and you're like, you know what, I'm going to stick around on my not. So there are people that done that 22 years and then they retire and get downtown. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, I've been surprised by the number of people who retire here and they're like, even though I was from a completely different area of the country, like Georgia, I like it here. And they make it part of their identity and part of their life. And I figure it's probably easy if you've been here 11 years because your career field kind of keeps you here.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of that, you're like, well, I'm going to build a life here. I might as well.
Yeah, there's also no traffic here too, so that's
Yeah, versus Chicago where it's like, well, I'll take the trains, I guess, if I don't want to.
It's quiet, it's safe.
Yeah.
No traffic, no people. It's peaceful.
Yeah. And which area of the country did you say you were from, Airman Troll?
I'm from North Carolina.
North Carolina, North Kakalaki. Okay, so that's an area of the country that's really beautiful, obviously. And I think there's a lot of beautiful stuff that's out here too. Like Theodore Roosevelt National Park is a place that I visited a couple of years ago now, and didn't realize that there was so much natural beauty in a place that is pretty flat. And we're like, well, I can see everything to the end of the horizon. So like, what is there to even see? But I really enjoyed the Badlands. You got to get out there.
Yeah, that's on my list. I'm gonna rent kayaks, go to the Badlands, the park.
Yeah.
So maybe even into Canada.
Into Canada. Okay. One of our airmen actually did a story about his experience out at Theodore Roosevelt National Park. So plugging the base website, Padilla wrote that story. Beyond the Base. So if you are looking to find out what's beyond the base, there's a few different options. But anything else that you guys might have heard where it's like you should get out and go see this thing? I know it's like taking people away from Minot, but what else have you seen that's like out there?
I mean, you're in a really good position being up here with all the normal outdoor stuff, right? You got South Dakota down there, right? All their landmarks that they got. You've got Glacier, Not, I mean, it's not super close, but it's not super far either.
Yeah.
Really good to get out there, do a long road trip, and good camping weekend. A lot of people tend to do that up here. Even going up into Canada, like she was mentioning, I've done several lake trips up there. Some really nice lakes. Some you want to stay away because some of the lakes are known as Leech Lake up there, so be careful with that.
Leech Lake.
Leech Lake. Learned that lesson.
All right.
Pretty hard, but yep, kayaking, things like that. There's a lot of opportunities. So, and flying within Canada is fairly cheap as long as you don't bring a lot of baggage. So
That's true.
it was like $80 round trip to go from. I'm drawing a blank on the Winnipeg
Yeah.
to Toronto and back. So
Wow.
it was like $80. So it was really awesome. I get to do that and I get to see some different things. So there's a lot of opportunities.
International travel with an asterisk next to the international.
Asterisks, do your stuff that you're required to do to
Yeah.
go across the border. But yes.
Right on.
You also got the best college hockey team in the United States, the UND. I think they're the Fighting Hawks now. Yeah, out in Grand Forks. So 3.5 hour drive. Watch some real good hockey if you like sports.
Oh, okay. I've never watched hockey.
They got the Toros here too.
Yeah, we got the Minotoros here
Yeah.
as well. I love watching the Minotoros. I'm a big hockey guy,
Yeah.
but you got to appreciate the semi pros because they play with heart out there. They're not playing for contracts; they're playing for the love of the game. But yeah, Grand Forks. You got some stuff to do in Grand Forks. Fargo's not too bad either. Drive a little bit more, 8 hours to Minneapolis. You can watch the Vikings play. Whoever. I mean, I don't like to watch the Vikings play, but
Got Mall of America.
Mall of America.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can watch
Yeah.
who's ever playing the Vikings. You can watch them play. Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier. You have to drive in order to get like the best spots, but it's nice because you drive, you take a day to drive somewhere, spend a lot of time there and come back. Whereas, I like to tie everything back to Chicago just because I'm from there. If I want to visit Chicago, I rush through everything because I don't want to get a hotel because I get on the train, I'm 45 minutes, maybe 2 hours, depending on what happens that day. But I'm downtown. And I have to rush through, going to the Field Museum, going through the Shed Aquarium. I have to rush through all that, get a little bit done, and then come home and do it again the next day. Whereas here, you drive 8 hours, plan it out, take your time, and really appreciate the community you're visiting. You learn quite a bit.
Caveat to that, you can also do the train. Don't sleep on the train. It's pretty cheap. You can do it overnight, start at midnight, get there at 8 a.m. So you have your whole day. You can sleep on the train ride over to Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Trains are real popular up here for that kind of stuff. Some people take the train over there to fly out of Minneapolis instead of flying over because it's cheaper. So that's something if you're interested in, and they do that as well. Definitely look up Amtrak. They do all over the U.S.
Yep.
So
I've taken the Amtrak before too. It's
nice.
not bad at all.
Yeah.
it's pretty decent.
I've wanted to do it, but I've got 3 small children right now, so it's
fair.
unpredictable as far as are they going to cause problems for other passengers?
Yeah, it's fine. It's the Amtrak.
Yeah.
It's the Amtrak.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about the ways that you can, maybe not fix your attitude, but keep your mind open so that your time here is a little bit better. Are you planning on doing your full enlistment and then maybe more
We'll see. Right now I'm just starting with the 4 year. I want to finish getting my degree and stuff while I'm here. So we'll see. But I don't think Minot is like a horrible place everybody makes it out to be. So
yeah, we'll it could be fun to check in on her a year from now when she's an A1C and like, hey, so what do you think of Minot now? Yeah, do periodic check-ins to see how she's doing. She's like, wow, it's nothing's changed. I think that it is challenging. There's certain things that are challenging about here. I was talking to folks about one of the most challenging things is that we don't have enough people because people don't come. They find ways to not be here, and that really grates on me because my wife and I BOP'd to get here. We heard that there was a shortage of NCOs, and we said, oh, well, that's a good challenge. We can take that on. You hear stories of people who are trying to avoid getting to Minot through whatever legal means that exist. How does that make you feel? Because you've been here and you are doing the mission. Where does that put you guys?
You say that again, just to make
Yeah.
sure
How do you how does it make you feel when you find out that people are trying to get out of an assignment to come to Minot?
So that's always a struggle, right? I will say it really kind of depends. Like on the upper levels for at least our areas, when you see like tech sergeants, master sergeants inbound, that kind of stuff, they tend to have a lot more play with whether or not they're going to be able to come up here, deny them, right? They're usually edging that close to that 20-year mark. They're like, I'll deny a set of orders and then just retire at 20, right? So with that, I still reach out prior to them dropping off on our list, our inbound list, and be like, hey, this is your time to get, straight from the mouth.
Yeah.
What is Minot like? Any questions, concerns? What's the schools like? Any potential thing that you're going to potentially have issues with. So I kind of take it personally a little bit because it's been a great experience for me coming into it, not knowing what to expect and not starting off the best way when I got here, just with, you're always going to different leaders you don't necessarily get along with.
Yeah.
But with that, again, they change, that constant change. So I had really good opportunities, good people to work with, working with solid collar before deployments, that kind of stuff.
We butt heads all the time.
We do butt heads, but it's professional. And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
we're both trying to do the same thing. We're trying to make it a better place for those that come after us,
Right.
right? And I will say the culture just in the 4 years plus that I've been here has changed a lot. So seeing people trying to get out of that and being able to be that positive change, I take it just a little bit personally. But at the end of the day, they do have their lives to live, and the Air Force does allow that flexibility to do that, right?
Sure.
So use all the advantages that are available to you.
And now you've been here for 11 plus years. So
Yeah,
when
going
you
on
hear
12.
that somebody's trying to get out, what does that make you feel?
I mean, I take it case by case. Some people they have kids, and the kids they need exceptional family care.
Yeah.
So that's fine. That's not the issue. There are some people though that as soon as they find out they get orders up here, they'll do whatever they can because they simply just don't want to come up here. But and I understand it's a challenging mission. We have to balance the conventional mission and the nuclear mission at the same time. It's very demanding. We have to do a lot, and we have all kinds of requirements to make their way up here. At first, I kind of was upset about it, but now it's if they don't want to come up here, then don't come up here. I want the people that do want to come up here
Yeah.
be here because I know those guys are going to buy in right from the beginning. Because we need people that want to be up here so that we can actually start making the positive change, start fixing the image that Minot's portrayed over the last few decades. Because as everybody's been saying so far, it's a wonderful base. It requires a team effort to display it to the rest of the Air Force just how good it is. I mean, we got fantastic technicians out there working online day in, day out, doing more with less. I mean, I had more manning when I first got here. New the equipment that they're using now is the same equipment that I was using, so that's still my equipment was newer. It was still old, but it's newer now. It was newer back then than it is now.
Yeah.
And they're out there still turning jets, still fixing write-ups, still making the impossible happen. And we got to have people that want to be up here, leading those guys. So I'd be more upset with somebody that comes up here and doesn't want to be up here and just throws a fit the entire time that they're up here and not taking care of their people versus people getting out of orders. At least if they get out of their orders, then, it's fine. Happy for you. You want to be somewhere else, it's fine.
I don't want to chart out what your future is going to look like necessarily, but the work is pretty hard and the people who do it take it pretty seriously. And you're going to end up being one of those people who works really hard and does a really good job. And you'll be given leadership opportunities that airmen at other installations necessarily don't get. So you will be expected to perform at a higher level. You'll be given more opportunities. And I say that and predict that for you because that's exactly what happened to me. I was put in, I'm the acting superintendent, even though I'm staff sergeant, which feels pretty crazy, but you make do with what you have. And even though this isn't necessarily the experience that I wanted of having to work at a much higher level than what my rank is supposed to be able to handle, I'm going to try to do it anyway. And there are people who are going to be counting on you always. So I think you're going to do really well here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I predict that for you because there's people who are here who want to see you succeed. And I say you as the stand-in for like all of our first term airmen. We want to see them do very well here. So you're in good hands. Is there anything generally that you say to first term airmen when they get here that like what's the spiel?
The first thing is learn your job well.
Yeah.
Your main focus area, right? Your area of responsibility. I need you to be able to do what you're normally tasked to do very well, to the point that you shouldn't have to excessively critically think to do the basic parts of your job, right? You're going to be throwing a lot of other things that once you get that bearing, then all that extra stuff's going to come your way, right? Those additional things that you're like, oh, I have to do that too. That's not part of my normal job stuff, right? As the Air Force shifts with everything, especially in our career fields, the maintenance side, there's a big shift coming on how they're going to be divvying up the work and specialties and things like that. The younger airmen are going to be more generic crew chiefs out the gate, and then after that, they'll get specialized once they become senior airmen and NCOs. Yeah. So that's going to be a huge change. And if you're around long enough, you'll see it. I probably won't in my time frame, depending on how long I'm in. But with that, after you get that quals, empower yourself. Don't be afraid to be the person that's the dumbest in the room, but asking the questions. Because I guarantee everyone else around you is thinking the same thing, but they're just too scared to ask. Including at my level, I see it all the time. Be sitting in a meeting and not a single master sergeant's asking the question. I ask the question, and they're like, "Oh, cool. Wasn't thinking about that." And get the answer, and then afterwards, 4 or 5 of them are like, "Yeah, I just didn't want to ask either. I appreciate you asking that question," right? So, not everyone's going to know the answers, but on occasion, don't be afraid to ask. But empower yourself too. If you can get rid of that middleman that's not required, do it. Empower yourself, and it's going to make you feel more fulfilled because you're going to be able to do the things that you need to do. So,
and what's your spiel, sir, to the new airmen?
I'm gonna sound like a grandpa, but I tell them, all the new airmen. I actually was just talking to some before I came out here. So open up 21-101. It's our maintenance Bible.
Yeah.
And I tell them, read it, start to finish. Just read it all the way through. A lot of it's not gonna make sense for you, but at least read it. And once they read it, I tell them, start pointing out different chapters and sub chapters to read, so at least they know what their job is, what the NCOIC's job / section chief, and the same thing, what upper leadership's supposed to be doing, what production's supposed to be doing, CTK, debrief, all these other agencies, because they need to know what their job is, and they need to know what everybody else's job is, the basics.
Yeah.
And they can read the what I tell them is, if you can read the A5 that tells you how to do your job, you should be able to read a TO. And I kind of break down their training for them. You can read a TO, you can read an AFI. If you can check out a toolbox, not miss anything, if you can do your 1800 inspection on your vehicle, do your daily vehicle inspection, check for oils, then you can be trusted to do an inspection on an aircraft. So tell them all these things that seems mundane, seems dumb, seems redundant. It's actually us seeing what they're capable of doing, seeing what areas we have to improve on. Because at the end of the day, if they can't check an 1800, they can't check a toolbox, can't trust them to check and do an inspection on an aircraft or maintenance on an aircraft with 6 souls on it at 30,000 feet. So I sit them down and I kind of like hit them with that. But then I also remind them that, we're here for them, because I was in their shoes. I was the person that was struggling. I did lose some tools when I was a new airman. And and I remind them that I'm here for them as well. Like, if they got questions, anything, my door's always open. I have airmen coming into airmen NCOs, sometimes senior NCOs come in my office, and either they vent or they have a problem, they talk about it. So I focus a lot on the job side of things, because I'm very job oriented, but I also focus a lot on their personal growth and development. One of my best friends, actually, he was one of my first troops. I've just been here for so long that he's ended up making the same rank as me. But he applied for an OTS board, and I was one that has been telling for years, go to school, Stop wasting your time. You know, go to school. And he went to school, got his degree, and he's applying for 26 OTS 03. So
Wow.
we'll see in a couple months if he makes it. But that's the thing. It's all started from when we were new, getting the same spiels, and I'm just passing it off to the next generation.
Empower yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I also want to caveat to the other thing that I did mention earlier is everything you do starting from that first term, remember that 3 level, that brand new person, all the way until the time you decide to leave or you get orders, you impact everyone around you, even if you don't think you do. Especially as a 3 level, like as a 3 level, I have to answer for things for you, right? Like if you don't do your training or they didn't train you, now I have to figure out what happened, right? I got to figure out the process. So the time it takes me to do all that, then brief it, then make them do it, if they would just done it, that would save me all that time and I could focus on other things, right? So everything that you do, even PA affects my job in a way. We affect theirs in a way. If we don't do something right, and then a PA's got to come out and take pictures for stuff, right? You never know what's
I
going
hope
on.
not.
Hopefully
Knock on
not.
wood.
Right? Hopefully not. Getting wing safety involved, right? Things like that. So everything you do, you may not see all the dominoes falling in place yet, because that's not your purview quite yet. But don't be afraid to ask, like, hey, how do I affect others around me? Had a favorite chief of mine when I went to NCOA. He briefed me about some senior combat engineer that went around to like finance and everybody. Like, let me tell you how you affect my job, just so that you get a little bit more purview of the people that you touch every day. And that really sat home with me, thinking about how my job affects others, not just in our direct area, but how does it affect security forces if I don't do my job right, right? So kind of keeping that mindset can kind of keep that guiding light and that fulfillment piece. Like, it's not just something small and mundane. That mundane thing adds up. Those small pieces all add up. So,
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for being part of it. Yeah.
Thanks for the advice, guys.
You just got to find your niche and understand that everything you do is important. You as a 3 level, obviously you don't know much about the aircraft, but focus on tool accountability. And then your 5 levels that are busy, they got tunnel vision. You know, you'll know where your tools are at, and you'll see them closing a panel. Like, hey, you guys are forgetting something in there. You just save them from closing up a panel, finding out 2 hours later that they're missing a tool. Now we got to ground this aircraft, and now we got to search it for hours. And you just keeping track of something basic like a tool just saved us hours and hours and hours of work. That's why I always tell the 3 levels, like, you guys are as important as everybody else out there. Sure, you may not put your name on the job. Sure, you may not be the one getting all the credit from supervision, you know, for fixing this aircraft, but that you're the bread and butter of the flight line. You guys are the ones learning and replacing us. And I want every single 3 level to be better. I'm sure same thing with you. You want the 3 levels to be better than you were as a 3 level.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for being the person that we can give all this mentorship to. You know, as far as how much you take in, it's showing up to your first duty station is overwhelming enough. You're changing everything about your daily life by coming into the military, and then you're somewhere across the country, disconnected from all the people you know and all the things that you understand, and it's a big deal. But you know, I think you're in good hands. I think you've got NCOs around you who are going to take care of you. And is there anything that you're excited about as you enter in? You're in your second week of being here. What's the big thing that you're excited about in Minot?
I'm excited to start working, get done with end processing.
Yeah,
it's taking forever, but just to start work, I guess. Meet the people I'm gonna work with every day. So.
Yeah, that excitement about getting to the job is very relatable.
Don't lose that.
Don't lose it.
Yeah.
I want to thank all of you for being here on the show today because, having Minot as a duty station is a good thing for people. I think I felt like whether I wanted to or not, I had to grow in order to become more successful. So, that will happen for you. That has happened for you, and it sounds like becoming a master sergeant. It happened for you too.
It happened for me too.
So, if you're out there listening and you're at Minot, you will get better as a result of being here. If you're not at Minot, why don't you come on over? We could use some more people, and you'll get better just as a result of being here. So, again, thank you for being here, and maybe we'll catch you in the next one.